Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mirrorless Monday, right here on the Eat, Sleep, List YouTube channel. My name is Matt Johnson, your host, and today I'm going to look back in the mirror and ask our inner child if we have made them proud. Let's make a list. So a couple of weeks ago, I was very fortunate to be a part of Emerge-a-thon, a 24-hour live podcast stream, alongside a lot of great podcasters here at Emerge Media Creators Co-op in Niagara Falls. And I had a 1-hour set planned with a bucket full of ideas. I was going to pull them and discuss them. And one of the ones that I was really hoping I get to discuss is basically this subject. But it was framed as, what are 5 things that younger me would be proud of current me for? And things happened. My set got shortened, and I never got to pull that specific topic. And at first I was a little miffed, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that it didn't happen because it gave me more time to think and ponder and plan. And now instead of a throwaway moment on a live stream, I get to do a full video on it. This idea has been on my mind a lot, especially lately. This past week has been emotionally rough for whatever reason. I've been sad, anxious. I've been overeating a lot, stress eating. And in fact, at work, twice, I broke down and bawled my eyes out. All right, I was up in the bin room all by myself, not a soul within a floor of me. And we're on the top floor, and I let it all out. I cried, and I cried, and I cried, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. It felt good. It felt good. I've been thinking a lot about my life lately. Grateful for what I have, but also thinking about what younger me had hoped I would be or hoped I would do and experience. And while things change, while life changes us, while growth changes, there's still a part of me that feels like I let down my inner child. I care about my inner child. I still care at times about pleasing my inner child. It's an important part of me. All right? Foundational stuff for myself. And again, while life has taken me all sorts of different directions, there's still a lot that I have not accomplished or have not done. And it worries me. All right? If I had a conversation with my younger self, all right, and obviously we've done some lists on that, the advice to my younger self, and we kind of talked about dream jobs, which did that a little bit. Like, it dealt with it a little bit. But if I had a conversation with 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old me, one, would I be recognizable? 2, would younger me think current me is cool? All right. And 3, would younger me think, wow, I can't wait to grow up to be that guy? I don't know. I don't know. I think a little bit of both. A little bit of pride and a little bit of a disappointment. Today, I want to talk about the good stuff. Because I need a little pick-me-up. All right? I need to feel pride, I guess, again. Especially after the weirdly emotional week that I've had. And I think this is great reflective material. Not just for me, but for everybody. I don't know if everybody thinks like this. I don't know if anybody else thinks like this. I do. I have a lot of time to think. And when I get alone time, this is where my mind wanders off to. It does, for better or for worse. I don't know. Maybe I'm a weirdo for thinking like this. But like I've had to go through so much in my life. All right, there's been so much good, but there's been a lot of bad. There's been a lot of trauma. Stuff that still sticks with me to this day, that haunts me to this day. I try to let it go, but I just can't. And like you go through this change, and there's parts of you that you love that you have to kind of kill off and let go. And it sucks. Like to grow, we have to throw away our old self and become something brand new. And along the way, a lot of us have lost ourselves. This is an aspect of growth that I've always been concerned about, is that there are times where I just don't know who I am anymore. So that's what we're going to do today. If you would be so kind, if you want to give this exercise a run, I'm going to be open, honest with each and every single one of you. Things that I think childhood me will be proud of current me for. And some of it is stuff we've talked about, some of it not necessarily. But I think it's a good reflection, especially in trying times, in times where we're feeling down. It's a good pick-me-up, maybe good motivation to please that inner child and become a better version of ourselves. Life moves fast. My life has been a blur post-high school. All right, 16 years going on my 17th, the 17th school year since I've graduated is insane to me. It's crazy. It's been a blur, and it's hard. It's really hard to fathom how much life I've lived, and in some cases how much life I've wasted. Over these years, and to think back, about how much I wanted to do and be, and how much I didn't get to do and be. Find time to chill out, relax, and be reflective. Sit down, smell the roses, as they say, and soak in, absorb everything that you've done. Set new goals. Get yourself back on track. We're always on the go, and that's why just life, like, I don't know, maybe it feels meaningless to some. Like it's just every day is just kind of just blah and existing, because we don't give ourselves time to reflect and appreciate what we are doing or what we have done. Take some time. Give yourself 30 minutes of reflective time a day or a week. Just give yourself a chance. All right, enjoy this ride, because it's going by quick. It's going by quick. I've wasted so much time. Our goals change always as we grow, as this life goes by so quickly. But don't forget to make your own inner child happy. Have you guys ever done anything where, like, you accomplish something, or you've seen something, and you think, man, 8-year-old me would have loved to experience this. Like, my inner 8-year-old self is so excited for me right now. It's a good feeling. It's pretty euphoric. Makes your heart feel good. That's what I'm looking for with this video and my upcoming list, is those aspects of me, those things that I've done and experienced that little old me could be proud of. That's the goal. All right, everybody, it is time for my top 10 list, my favorite part of every single video that we do. As I always encourage, please feel free to comment along, contribute to the dialogue. If there is something that you think that younger you would be proud of current you for, please feel free to share, whether in the comments section or my email, eatsleeplistpod@gmail.com, or at the very least, get your mind churning. All right? Some of you may not realize it, but there are 5 to 10 things that younger you would be proud of current you for, whether you realize it or not. You just have to put yourself in that mentality of younger you. Think back to what you hoped to do, hoped to be, hoped to accomplish, and soak it all in. All right? There's something, I'm sure. There is at least something there that younger you would be proud of current you for. But let's get to my list. Hopefully I can stir some ideas up for you. Here we go. My number 10 is that I got to be a professional wrestler. And more specifically, got to get a paycheck from WWE. I think back to younger me all the time. 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old me playing with my bag of wrestling figures in my homemade wooden wrestling ring that my dad made for me. It was made out of 2x4s, nails and rubber bands. I don't know if younger me would have grasped I think I dreamed it, but I don't think I could have ever really imagined it, like it coming to fruition. Like it always seemed larger than life and impossible. And although my time in pro wrestling was short, I wish it would have gone longer. There's a lot of regret in that department, trust me. But even for 4 years, I think like that 4-year stint where I got to travel and see a lot of cool places and meet a lot of great people, especially people who I grew up watching on television. All right, meeting a lot of superstars in that regard. I think younger me would be ecstatic that that was in his future, right? That could be done. Here I am, just enamored with wrestling, watching it on TV, playing it on my various video game systems, and having a bag full of wrestler toys. And then I get to be that person, even though at a much smaller level. The fact that I got to do it is something that I am quite proud of, and I believe that younger me would be quite proud of. And I can hang my hat on that. So my number 10, got to be a pro wrestler. Number 9, travel seemed, I don't know, like not impossible, but there was just so much world to see. And when you're young, when you're really, really young, at least in my life, I didn't get to travel a whole heck of a lot. I mean, obviously, I did a couple trips to Canada and Toronto. I did my Disney trips. I did Washington, D.C., but there's so much more that I wanted to see. And I've gotten to see a lot of it. There's a lot more that I definitely want to see. But the fact that I got to travel to cities like Indianapolis and New York City, and I mean, there's been plenty, right? Maybe even going to some of these Caribbean islands or places in the Bahamas that I've gotten to see on cruises. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to think about. I mean, New York City's probably the big one that I thought, hopefully someday I get to see it. And obviously, like it was massive. Like, it was really cool. Like, it was very impactful on my life when I finally got to see the Big Apple. I think younger me would be pretty proud of that, because New York City was like the hub of everything, right? Especially growing up, you're watching cartoons and Spider-Man's, swinging through there, or there's all sorts of other happenings going on in New York City, stuff like that. And the fact that I got to travel and see these things with my own eyes instead of looking at them through a TV or a book, I think younger me would be pretty proud of that. So that's my number 9, getting to travel to see some places that I love And obviously, there's a lot more to go, but I'm pretty prideful of what I've done so far. Number 8, I never lost my sense of adventure. And I guess that could apply to my number 9. It kind of bleeds into my number 9. But I like doing stuff. All right. When I was a kid, when I was younger, I liked to be out and about. Yeah, there was times and stretches where I liked video games, but I liked to be out and about and going to do stuff, go to parks and go on long bike rides and even sometimes a nice car ride to go somewhere. Like, that was fun for me. And even as I'm gotten older, I still like that. Playing video games for too long, even though we just celebrated it this past Friday, it wears on me, and I feel like a need and a calling to be outdoors and go on some type of adventure, whether it's a long walk or a bike ride or a car ride or just be out in nature somehow. I've never lost that. There's a lot of people who you hear about, they loved being outside when they were kids, right? They loved playing in the snow when they were kids, going to, sledding and all sorts of stuff. And then they got older and it was too cold and they were just too tired to do it. Or the summertime, right? Couldn't wait for summertime to get there when we were kids. School's off, pools are open, so much to do, so much free time. And then got older and too hot, too tired to go and enjoy the summertime. I never lost that. I'm quite proud of that I've never lost that sense of adventure. Yeah, I like to do stuff. So, number 8, that is what I got. Never lost my sense of adventure. Number 7, younger me hated sports. Younger me would be surprised that I did anything athletically and was relatively successful at it. All right. I was put in baseball. I did it not by choice, but I was voluntold. I played youth football. Not by choice. I was voluntold. And I understand why my parents put me in these situations, because they wanted me to try and do stuff. It was encouraging, or is encouraged to do that. You put your kids in certain activities and hope that they socialize, they grow, they find something that they like. My problem was I did not like playing sports at all when I was a kid. I hated it. I hated the people I was with. So many just jerks that I got to meet over the years, especially coaches' kids. The worst. But then in high school, I did stuff. I got good at something. I got good at wrestling. And I accomplished. I was the sectional champion, and I got to wrestle at states. And that's something that's outstanding, and something that I think younger me would be like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool, at the very least, about that. Especially just knowing how my head was so much in the clouds back then. I wanted to be a kid. I wanted to go play make-believe and play toys and do anything but organized sports activity. So I think if younger me knew that older me would accomplish certain things in high school athletics and some even in college, I think they'd be pretty proud. So that's my number 7. Number 6, it's that I could still have fun on my own. I find peace alone now. And even back then, there was, I had my dad always. There were times where he was working nights and I didn't necessarily have him. My sister and I, we got along pretty good when we were younger. And there was that weird patch where it's just on-site beef all the time. And then cousins sporadically coming through whenever we hung out. But I was alone a lot. I didn't have a neighborhood full of kids. Like, I had to make peace on my own time. I'd play toys with myself upstairs. I'd have open up my toy box and just have these creative adventures. Or I'd play make-believe in the basement and doing whatever. And I think it's a strong trait that people don't have. There's a lot of people who just cannot handle being alone at all for any stretch of time. Like, there's too much quiet time, too much time to think. I think it's a real good thing if you know how to entertain yourself alone. I do. I think it's actually it's a massive strength. I think it's a huge endorsement of how much you love yourself, is if you can be fine on your own. And younger me did it. And there were some times where I felt the need. I needed to be dependent on other people, I felt. But right now, I'm happy. I'm happy. Give me some alone time. I am happy as a clam. That's for sure. So that's my number 6, is finding peace in alone time. All right, my number 5 is that I'm a free thinker. I can think for myself. When we're kids, especially early on, no matter sometimes how much we're told to think a certain way, we still think our own way. We process things a different way when we're younger. And then the older we get and the more things that we start to belong to, we start to conform. We start to accept certain beliefs, ideologies, thought processes, and sooner than later, we're closed-minded, relatively closed-minded, but we lose the ability to think for ourselves. We're fed information and we're expected to believe it, and that's just the way we're taught. In school, we're not really taught to freely think. We're taught how to remember, right? Like, even math has changed so much over the years, where it used to be just figure out the problem any way that you can, and now, from what I understand, it's no, you have to go through all these extra steps and remember how to do it instead of navigating on your own, thinking freely to solve a problem. And there's a lot of stuff in between my younger childhood days and probably within the last couple of years where I was not doing the thinking for myself. I was being told how to think. I was letting other people do the thinking for me. And it was disastrous. It was disastrous. And it led me astray to a point of losing myself. So, free thinker. I think younger me would be proud that I have regained my sense of free thought. And that is my number 5. Number 4. Although the faces have changed, for the most part, all of my life, I have always had a good friend group. All right. I've had several. We've talked about these over the months that I've been doing this show, but there's been many times where I've had various friend groups and I've maintained that. Sure, I find peace being alone and not, being by myself, which is all fine and dandy, but I've always had, like, in my opinion, legendary level friend circles. Always. And yeah, we outgrow each other sometimes. It's just natural. It's a natural part of life is outgrowing people. It just happens. But right now, I have a great group of friends, and I think younger me would be excited that older me still keeps really good people around. Again, even though the faces have changed, these are people who believe in me. And are good for my mind, body, and soul. So that's my number 4, having a great friend group. Number 3, I just never let my inner child go away. I get excited when I see toys that I had when I was a kid, or something that maybe I wanted as a kid. If I have the money to buy it, I do. And every time that I do, a little bit of that inner child who had something and lost it, or wanted something and never got it, it's healed. All right? The inner child feels better. When I had money, spare money, free money, I used to go to like resale places, and I'd see these toys, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember having this when I was a kid. And if it was reasonably priced, I would purchase it. And obviously, I'm not sitting around and playing with these toys anymore. But just knowing that I haven't, something that was probably given to Goodwill without my consent, mom and dad, just to have that again is special. It's cool, and it's healing, because I never got like closure with a lot of these possessions, these material possessions that were so important to me as a kid. So yeah, never letting that inner child go away. I still have that spirit. Like, I don't know, like I still get excited to see Pokemon cards or old cartoons. You know what I mean? I could sit around and watch cartoons for a little bit, like the same way I did as a kid, and it makes my soul happy. I never let that inner child go away. No matter how much life has tried to bring me down and shape me into something that I don't want to be, that inner child is still alive and well inside me. My number 2, I never lost my creativity or imagination. This show is an example of my creativity and imagination. When I was a kid, my creativity and imagination were demonstrated through toys and make-believe. I'd have these cool fictional toy wars and all sorts of interactions where I'm narrating, a conversation between Star Wars characters and Marvel characters. And it was fun. It was fun. And over the years, again, that process has changed. I will get to play with toys again as my kid gets older. But through various means, through writing, through photography, through pro wrestling, through podcasting, my creativity and imagination has stayed the same. I have watched a lot of people who don't have an ounce of creativity in their body, zero imagination at all. They have let the world beat it out of them, whether they wanted to or not. And it's sad to see. It's really sad to see. I value my creativity and imagination more than I do a lot of people. It has given me personality. All right. And I'm very, very proud to show it off every chance that I get, to talk about and do these videos and demonstrate that I still got it. After all of these years, I still got it, and the world couldn't beat it out of me. So, creativity and imagination. That's my number 2. And my number 1, I got to be married and got to be a dad. All right. I think younger me would have expected this, because it just seemed like so common. Like, it didn't seem like it was a difficult thing to achieve. But I feel like getting married, the process of finding a suitable mate and the process of being a parent were a lot harder than childhood me realized. And maybe I just ended up in a situation where it was difficult, where it was harder than it had to be. But I got to be it. Right? I think about, oh man. Like, there's times where I think about younger me interacting with my son Bennett, and I think it's the coolest thing. And I feel that every time, like, I play with my son, every time I get to be the dad that my dad was to me. I don't know. Like, it's hard to explain. Like, I don't know. Life is hard. It really is, but there's like in most days I'm pretty like stoic and I don't know. I'm not super open despite me talking all the time on this show, but there's something about when my son wants to play that brings out that inner child, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy. So that is it, everybody. That is the things that childhood me would probably be proud of current me. At least what I think. We got through it. It's 10 items. I'm sure there's a lot more if we think about it. Next week, we'll see how I'm feeling. But I'm leaning towards exploring the disappointment part, the things that we fell short on. I think that's important. Retrospective, too. All right, yeah, we talked about the pros. Now let's look at the cons. What would be some things that younger me would cringe at seeing what he became? And then maybe work on it afterwards. There it is, everybody. We'll be back on Friday for some fun list action. I thank you so much. Till next time, do you even list?